Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my bonsai oasis. Now, it doesn't look like my bonsai oasis. Exactly what part, what nook, what cranny am I standing in? Well, you'll find out through the process of some of today's filming. But we have to step back a little bit because yesterday I got to do something very, very special on the way here. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. I'm in the car heading up north to Bonsai Acres, and my turnoff off of 35 is the town of Sandstone, and Sandstone is where I come and pick up all my supplies. There's an Ace Hardware there, and there's some restaurants, there's the big grocery store, so that's where I kind of get my supplies. So I'm just about ready to turn off on Sandstone, and I'm a little anxious, I'm a little nervous, and I'm a little excited. Why, might you ask? Today's the day that I'm literally going to I'm hand delivering my building permit. I'm going to write them a check and just introduce myself. Because this next 3 to 5 months is going to be pretty life-changing and fantastic and exciting. But I have to have a building permit. So a couple of exits away, I'll be turning off and hand delivering my building permit. This is getting real. So I'm just outside the government center and the doors are locked. So I'm gonna go over next door and see if I can do anything over there. They don't open up here till noon. Small town, I guess, right? Yeah, I banged on the wrong door. So that's the government center right here. This is the address that's actually on the permit stuff. So let's see if we're in the right place now. Good news, y'all. They were open. Their hours are 8 to 4:30. Government center, that's probably for all that legal stuff. So I'm in good shape. That means, well, he just told me the permitting process was 2 business weeks, which means that gets me to the end of June, which I expected. I didn't expect to break ground until July, so I'm on target. However, he was in there. I walked it in. Instead of in the mail, I was right there looking at him, and he, I think, is the guy that might go out there. I said, I'm there all week, and he said, I might be able to get out there in the next couple of days. So fingers crossed, everybody. By the time I publish this, I'll know that answer. But for me right now, I'm hoping he comes out before I leave on Thursday. Today's Monday. All right, let's head to the property. So as I head down the back road to the property, my next stop is actually in the town of Bruno, just shy of my town, about 5 miles out or so. And there's a bar there. It's called the Bear's Den, I believe. And they have this sign kind of off to the side of their property. There's a bar, there's a little tiny general store. I've been in there once before. I don't remember what I went in there looking for. I think matches or something to light a fire. And there's a sign that says something about, you can maybe rent equipment there, so I can maybe get a backhoe type thing or an excavator. There's, it looks like there's like a motel, like you could rent a room. But there's also a sign that says something about RV dumping. And so I got the RV on the property, and if I want to start using the bathroom and I want to dump it out after a trip or after a week or 2 weeks, I don't know how long people go. This is all new to me. And I could go dump it just 5 miles down the road, so it wouldn't be a long journey, and I wouldn't have to pay someone to come out. I guess I don't know. I don't know how this all works. And so I'm hoping to go ask a couple of questions. I don't know if the bar is open at about 10 o'clock in the morning. But every time I drive by, there seems to be cars there at all times of the day. So let's see if there's anybody there today, and we'll go ask about dumping some crap. The town of Bruno. Don't blink, you'll miss it completely. And here is the Bear's Den off to the left. Let's see what we got going on. No cars in the parking lot today. Yeah, the open sign is not illuminated. And the general store, that little white sign right there within that window says 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I could sit here for an hour or come back. I'm not going to sit here for an hour, so I'll come back. we can ask them about the RV hookup and dump station later. All right, let's head to the property. To give you all just a little bit of perspective, to your right, my left, is fence number 2. We've got some Black Hills spruce. They're on discount at my favorite store, Gerton's. So my buddy Mark and I, when we were doing the pop-up for Triple Root Bonsai, picked up a dozen of the Black Hills spruce. So we're going to put those in the ground, thicken them up, do some bending and twisting, and all part of the journey to get this nursery up and running. Yes, Bonsai Acres is in good shape. A lot of trees in the ground and a lot of stuff to do as always. So it was really exciting to walk and hand in my permit in person to Mike, was his name. And he didn't seem like to be a very talkative guy, but seemed to think that everything was in order and he could be here today. He could be here tomorrow to walk the staked area and give me permission, hopefully a stamp of approval, to start the build, which would be super, super excited. But that may take up to 2 weeks, he said, about 2 business weeks, he said. Although he's only 15 miles away and, you know, it's small town, small county. Well, it's a big county, but time will tell. I've got plenty to do, and I already did a lot yesterday. It was a wonderful day. It rained last night. It was super cool rain coming in the evening after a hard day's work. But a couple of things that I did clean up in here a little bit and added some lights up on top. So now I've got lights here at fence number 1 and fence number 1 is over there, fence number 2, and we're ready to go to have a real nice illuminated area with all the trees. And I also worked on the area right over here. Before I show you that, that is the goal today. So because of all the rain and because I'm going to do some digging, I wanted to have softer ground, and I do because of the rain. So we're going to go ahead and tackle this today. So my concept is this. My fire pit's up over here, but we're going to move that for things we'll talk about later, and we're going to put it down here. No trees immediately above us except for a little bit of this pine right here. But I think if we're tucked in right here, we're going to be good for a fire pit. And there's a reason for that. Again, we'll explain that later. So we're going to do a little bit of cleaning in here. Might get the lawnmower going in here real quick. And then we're going to go ahead and clean up some of the down trees. And we're going to go ahead and clean this up today because it'll just be a good day for digging. Now, speaking of digging and hauling, I was busy yesterday. If you've been watching long enough, you know that I love water features, and Bonsai Acres will have a water feature. And it's going to be from the new pond that I dig probably next year. Maybe this year, we'll see. More on that later too. But at least I'm going to get the river started, and I already have, because it's underneath the platform that I built. I prepared the tarp, the pond liner, for the river portion of, well, the river. I slapped 3 layers of double-sided liner adhesive, and then I got 2 containers of the silicone caulk for ponds. There were 2 tubes of that. I used every single ounce of it, and then I put those 2 tarps together as one. These are 10 by 20s. I have 10 wide by 40 long. Lo and behold, it was just enough to get from the bottom of the river, which will be the dam that kind of goes out into the old southern larch bog, and then up on the top on the north end. Didn't quite get to where I wanted to go. I'm about 3 feet short, but I'll be just attaching another pond liner to that in the end. To make sure the pond liner would stay in place, now it's a pretty heavy-duty liner, but and I had a lot of heavy boulders around, I went to go search for a few more big boulders to put in place. I had to put them in a couple special areas. And here I am standing inside what will be the riverway pond, if you will. Kind of a dry creek bed most of the time, but when I'm up here and I run my pump, I'll have water coming from the pond down through the river here. And this will hold water because on this end, we have a little bit of a pool here, and there's actually water from last night's rain. So there's water at the bottom of the river pond, if you will, already from the rain last night, a couple of inches actually. And so we'll beef all this up once we know where the water line is, where it's level, and then we'll fix it up from there over the course of this summer. But I had to find all these big boulders, and I had to crawl underneath to make sure I could get some rocks that could stuff the liner up underneath the deck. So looking from the bottom of the pond, we're looking back at the deck, and there underneath there is only a couple of feet deep, but the pond liner goes up a good foot or two past the earth, underneath here, and I had to get some rocks that could stuff underneath, so it's going to secure the deck even more, and it's going to hold the liner in place. I don't think it would move anywhere once there's water in there, but I've got some rocks on this side completely stuffed in, this front side, the back side, but not in the middle. So I'm gonna have to crawl under there later today, probably get a little wet, and get a couple more stones in there, and then that's good. And we'll build up stones as we continue to find more stones and pebbles and rocks on the property and make this a really, really nice kind of a pebbly river creek. So with more rain in the forecast tomorrow, and of course I have the pump if the sun comes out, I may just put water in here today to see how high it flows. Now on the backside, we have to figure out something so it doesn't leak out. So here's where the pond liner ran out. I was hoping it would get to here. I thought I had enough to get to here, but not quite. I had to make sure there's plenty on the spillover so water wouldn't go in and come back down. It's going to spill over that tarp and then go away from the pond and not create any, well, erosion and that kind of stuff. So I've got my unfortunately passed larch here in the box, and I'll put a couple boulders on here as well. There's a boulder down there, but I'll put a couple boulders to just hold this in place, because if this does fill up with water with the rain over the course of the next couple of weeks, if I put some water in it, it's going to just go here over the edge of the tarp and then creep underneath. It's just going to be messy. So I just want to make sure that this lip stays up high and the water will kind of stay where it's supposed to stay. So we'll experiment that with a little bit later once I get some more rocks underneath that center part. But this will be later. Right now, with the cool temperatures, the sun not beating down on me, let's go clean up the new fire pit area. I'm about an hour into the project and I've made some pretty decent progress. I discovered this great big old rock, which will be an absolute perfect sitting spot for a fire right here. Back far enough away, it's a perfect seat, put a little cushion on here, maybe a backrest, or just sit on the rock. Oh, And the pile of junk that I've collected, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Got a couple of, you know, soda cans. We've got some, I think, old car parts. There's even an old-fashioned lock in there somewhere. Like, I think it's a lock from like hundreds of years ago. Some glass, of course. I always find glass up here. Look at that bone to the left. That's a big bone. Yeah, I hope it's just an animal. I always try to wiggle rocks with my shovel and with my pickaxe, and if I can wiggle it, I always think I can move it. So I tried to move this one, and yeah, all to no avail. But I've got my strap around it. I don't know if the strap is low enough to get it out of this hump, but we're gonna dig a little bit of a gap here and try to gun it with the four-wheeler and hope I can drag this thing out of this hole, and we'll fill this in with some dirt. Hey, look everyone, it worked. I didn't turn the camera back on. Things are starting to take shape in the new fire pit area. I've got it fairly leveled off now. You want to make sure, you know, we're not tripping over things. We want to make sure there's no big steep grades when there's fire around, right? Because of potential danger. So we're going to have a fire pit right around here. So this seat can be a prime seat watching the fire. So no closer than my feet. So we can walk through here. We got this outcropped rock that I'll never be able to move. There's one right here too we're gonna have to bury so we don't trip on that. And there's this slanted one here, there's one over here too. So, you know, we'll beef it up with some rocks as I discover more rocks in the property, kind of like we're doing with the river down there, and make it look all nice and pretty. But now I need to make the fire pit. So I got a couple rocks that I dug up here that could be certainly some cornerstone rocks to this humongous fire pit. But I'm just gonna go grab the rocks from the other fire pit. And because the other fire pit is up there, I can roll them all down the hill. So let's have some fun doing that. Oh yeah, that's a lot of work. Got the two big boulders in there from here and all the ones from the fireplace except for the smaller ones. And yeah, we have ourselves a fireplace. Bonfire place. Now, whenever you make one of these, we're always doing stuff like this. Trying to find that perfect blend of fire pit, circled rocks, not huge gaps. All right, clear walking path all the way around except for that stump right there, that metal, or that rock right there is a little close to the fire pit. So I should have it another foot or two that way, which is a lot of work. So I'll do that later. I'll rest, and we can always tweak this, continue to clean up and rake, you know, this every summer is gonna, you know, grow back. So I'm gonna have to figure out how much I can pull and add dirt. And yeah, pretty cool. We'll have to have our first fire here, although if it rains today, I'm in trouble because the wood is already kind of wet. But if it dries up all day, we can maybe get a fire. Tomorrow's supposed to be a cold and rainy day, not even out of the 50s. But this is a good start. We'll shift it over this way maybe a little bit here later on today. I'm liking it. Now, we need a few chairs around. Now, I've been sending my friends some bonfire videos and snapshots, and if you're one of those people, you may have noticed I've made some big fires. So if there's a big fire in this pit right here, I can't sit this close. So I might have to dig more out of this mound here, but we'll have to have seating areas around this way too, because even with a big fire, that rock seat would be, well, in the line of fire. All right, a good morning's work. I don't even think it's 10 o'clock. All right. And what's going to go up there, up top? That will be revealed a little later. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I am pretty much done. It started out gray, and maybe the chance for showers, that never materialized. Well, maybe just a sprinkle for about 4 minutes. And then the sun came out, so it's beautiful, and now into the low 70s. And the area is where I need to leave it for today. So I carved out some of the hill, I got the fire pit in place. I got some wood there ready to get started here. And then I laid some I laid some dirt down in here to make this a little bit more level. Again, you want to make sure you're having a level place for the fireplace so people aren't tripping in there. I still have this rock over here that's a little bit exposed. But we're going to add more dirt here on this side in the future. So I did a lot of dirt digging and putting dirt around the property, but this was the main project for today. The Black Hill spruce trees went in really good into the fence area number 2, so I'll show you those. That was nice to get that job done. And then I put the final grapevine in the first fence area. So I have 2 grapevines in the second fence area, and I have a grapevine in the original fence, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to have grapes up here. Now, these are seeded grapes meant to make wine. They are made from the University of Minnesota. They're cultivars that are cold hardy, so they will survive up here as well and provide some grapes. All 3 plants have grapes on them. We'll see if any of them come to ripeness, and I put them inside the gated areas so the deer and the rabbits leave it alone. Wonderful day up here at Bonsai Acres. I'm going to have a bonfire in a little bit later, so we'll get that on film. The first inaugural fire right here in the new spot. No trees overhanging, and up there, well, again, you're going to have to wait for that a little bit later. This is going to be a fun fire. Now there's water in the river, and I've got a couple more rocks to put in the middle, and that's it. But that means I have to climb in there and get all wet. But you know what? It's going to be refreshing, and then I'll change and be done for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, that's not too bad. Of course, it's black tarp. It's been heated up. All right, here we go. This is going to be a little chilly. Oh, I need my rock. I think it was going to be these guys right here. See if that one fits. I don't know about this one. We have success, and we have wetness. All right, all the rocks are in place. Now, I don't know if there's enough sun to get any water out of the solar pump. I don't think so, and tomorrow's supposed to be a rainy day. Of course, I'm really itching to get some water in here just to see what it's going to be like, but you know what? Patience is a virtue, right? So we will go ahead and wait. I can test it today, but if it's not going to work, it's not going to work, and we'll do it at a later time. So that was fun. That was fun and refreshing. inaugural fire was a good one. I was able to burn some brush, get some of these old dilapidated pieces of wood from some construction on site from probably decades ago. So that's the stuff that's kind of warming up on top. It's kind of mealy and a little damp, so it's going to slowly burn down. I've got firewood all over the place from trees being down, but this is great. The new place, we're really going to like it. The mosquitoes are a little bad tonight, so I won't be out here for too long, and that's why I'm dressed in a hoodie in the summertime and long pants because it's only about 70 degrees. Tomorrow's going to be an errand day. I'm going to go and buy and check a few things out in town. Go check out to see if I can dump the RV in that bear's den. We're going to kick back and enjoy the bonfire for a little while longer and get a good night's rest and start up again tomorrow. A good afternoon to you all. Yeah, it's already afternoon, but as promised, the rain came and it delivered. So I did my errands first, and I went up to the Menards store, the big box store in Duluth, Minnesota. Found out it was only 35 minutes from me, whereas the one I was going to go to was 65, about an hour. So I saved a half an hour. It was a good day to shop. So I picked up a couple of things. Now I thought, taking a peek at the radar, that I was in good shape. Because all of the green, I mean, look at it, it's all to the east of me. The dot right there, clearing is here. Now, there might be clouds and it could develop again, but it was clear, right? So I started to unload my car with the heavy stuff. So I picked up some cinder blocks, the kinds you can put the 2x4s, 2x6s, 4x4s, or 6x6 posts in. Yeah, they're concrete blocks. And that's what's going to be the foundation of my wood structure to hold all my firewood. And the firewood's going to go into this structure, and it's going to be really solid structure because on top is going to be a solar array for the cabin eventually. Not until probably next year, but I want to have the firewood in there in case I'm in there this fall or winter to get a couple of fires going. So we're going to be building that in the coming weeks throughout the summer here as well. So I got the cinder block bases. And then I also bought some that basic common number 5 or gravel that you put underneath some of the paver stone type stuff or these foundation blocks. So I got 8 of those, 8 of the foundation blocks, and that was super cool. Very heavy, so I can't thank my lucky stars enough that I have this amazing four-wheeler from my friend Steve. Gave me such a great steal of a deal, and it's already paid itself 2-3 times over. So I was able to use the four-wheeler to get from where I parked my car all the way to where the structure is going to be. So nice to have the four-wheeler. So I unloaded, put them in the spot about where they're going to be so I don't have to do a lot of heavy lifting later. But the most exciting part of the morning was what I wanted to put this around the fireplace. That's right, I was just able to fit 4 chairs inside my car as well with the other stuff from Menards, and I got my Adirondack chairs. Now, after shopping around, these chairs were actually the least expensive on sale. That helped. Plus, I'll get my discount because they always have discounts, right? And but the chairs were the most comfortable. So of all the ones that I sat in, these were the most comfortable. So they're just inexpensive Adirondacks. I'd like to make a couple custom-made ones out of wood down the road, but I have 4 now around the fire pit. It was super, super great. Now, nothing more annoying when you buy something you're going to look at when the stickers don't come off. So 2 of the 3 stickers came right off. That's the way they all should be. But the darn barcode to buy the thing is that soft, papery, and now it's wet, and it's just so I didn't even try to take the last 3 off. That's just obnoxious. Why can't they put those on the back of the chairs where we don't look? I can't figure that stuff out. So I said good afternoon because I have been busy before my road trip. That's right. I was busy taking care of some reorganizing of the shed in here. So from your angle, it looks relatively clean back here. But I got stuff on the floor over here. I've been sifting soil. I've got parts of wood all over the place. So I had to make myself some brand new shelves. So I put together whatever scrap wood I had around. This didn't cost me anything, all materials on hand, which is super cool. And I was able to make 2 shelves opposite of my workbench on the other side, and I got 2 levels of shelving. Now this is just going to be for more bins and more stuff, and hopefully I will do this from the get-go. I didn't today yet. But I'm going to label this thing. I'm going to label things so I know what is where from a distance, right? Easy to see, and clear bins too, so I can kind of see what's inside them.
plus the labels. So I've got 2 new shelves, and stuff can fit underneath still too because they're pretty high off the ground, but easily reachable for me. A fantastic morning, a long rainy day in store, and just when I thought I was able to put that stuff out today, there was this little cloud of rain right over me when I was trying to put all that stuff out there. But I had a little contraption on my camera with some bungee cord and the old umbrella, and I just wouldn't refuse. You know, my dad was a mailman back in the day. You know, come rain, sleet, snow, whatever conditions, your mail's going to be delivered, right? Well, I needed to deliver you the goods, and so I did. I just can't sit around that long. So a little wet. I had to get the raincoat out. Glad I had it here. And then I had to use a towel. Where's my towel? I already lost my towel. I had a towel, so I'm probably wet all the way through and through. So some good production today. Now I think I'm going to have some lunch, and then after lunch I'm going to go to town, go to the Bear's Den. What is it called? I'm going to go see if I can dump my RV stuff down the road. So we'll do that next, and we'll see how we wrap this episode up.
And of course, now that I'm walking back to the RV to have lunch, guess what completely stopped? Yeah, it's not raining. Oh well, what can you do?
The rain has stopped just enough for me to say adios. And I went to the Bear's Den, and I got Josh's business card. Yeah, Josh wasn't around, but I can rent a skid steer, I can get a backhoe, I can get an excavator, I think I can dump my RV stuff, I can plug in, I can take a shower, I think, over there if I needed to. He runs it all. I think he builds half the houses in Carrick. So Josh is the man. We'll get in touch with him pretty darn soon. But I'm cold, I'm tired, the rain, the dampness, worked hard these last couple of days. I just wanted to sit in one of my beautiful chairs to say adios to y'all. So much thing on the horizon. I have not heard yet. It is Wednesday afternoon, evening, and I have not heard or seen the folks from the permit place to see if they come out here and look at my stakes. So I'll maybe publish this episode here in a couple of hours. You might be seeing this before I even get home from Bonsai Acres. This is feeling good up here. Until soon. Welcome to Bonsai Acres.
Very excited.